fairly to everybody. Nobody will want to leave this country. And whether you like it or not, if it continues this way, people must continue to agitate that they don't want to belong because you say they don't belong. So there must be fair and equal representation. I don't want to go to all the definitions that these people gave, World Bank, IMF, and all those institutions. But I will look at major characteristics of good governance. One of them is participation. Everybody must participate. All the sectors and sections of the society. In Nigeria, we are a multi-ethnic society. In the US, they understood their system and allowed evolution of the kind of leadership they want. A friend of mine who lives in Las Vegas told me that at a certain point in their history, they tried to have 20 governors at a time representing all those. This one, they don't want this one to rule before the other people. They were doing it equally so that everybody will have that sense of belonging. And they evolved out of that morass. So there must be participation. The other one is rule of law. I will leave rule of law for you. But all I know is that in a society like this, nobody should be above the law. The other day they told us, and let me give this example with transparency. You must appear to be transparent to everyone. The other day, we know how these people did to go to Kenya and the amount of money they spent to abduct Nnamdi Kanu, what you people call what rendition, brought him back. But we're all here. The other day they told us that Kuje prison was broken into, and they look at us as fools that we don't know that they want to release those people they kept there. And so we are just looking at it. So if you don't do what you do for Mr. A, for Mr. B, there is no equality and there's no law that you are looking at. And you are not transparent. Then it must be responsive. If people feel somehow about what you are doing, you must convince them that, look, oh, I'm sorry. Look at how it should be done. People are saying, Nandi Bokolo Able President, Nigeria. And some people now told us that there is no need again for zoning. But I know the whole thing Buhari rode on was that it was the turn of the North. So why should Jonathan come? So it is the turn of Libo. And they are telling us we shouldn't do. So they are not responsive to the yearnings of the people. But a good governance entails that you must be responsive. Now, you have to do consensus building and legitimacy. Look at what is going on. Yesterday, one of the leaders of APC, no, on Sunday, one of the leaders of APC came around a national youth leader came around in my house and was telling me, he gave me a list of those people in the strategy committee of Tinubu. No single Igbo man out of 26 of them. So he said I should see how they are doing. I said, the weekend on obedience. We are all obedient. No one only born out obedient. So I said, okay, let us work. Then I've talked of equity, fairness, and inclusiveness. If you don't do that, there must be agitation. So we have effectiveness and efficiency. Somebody must be a round peg in a round hole. You can't just go and bring somebody who are still looking for his primary 6 certificate and he will be our president. My brother here took him to court for not seeing his certificate, and eventually over 25 SANs came to do the intimidations they gave to him. So he ran away for his dear life. But the point I'm making is that if anybody comes out now to say, Wokem, you don't have a primary 6 certificate, I say yes. I will tell you, over 30 people that were in my class, the same thing in secondary school, the same thing in first degree, the same thing in my master, the same thing in my PhD. I'll tell you those people in my class. But this one, you are going to court. Somebody say, bring it, let us see. And after a little time, you went and gave us certificate that embossed you are this thing. When they were not doing, when I did my own work, nobody embossed anything on our this pictures. And you gave me that, and you think I'm a fool. So, of course, you must be accountable. So all these things must be there. Now, the import of good governance to any society. Well, I just few of them. I look at political development. You must, when you are doing what you are doing, you must look at every other person, every other clime, every other society, every other country. Are you moving with the time and the tide? Of course, we are not. If you see Nigeria, we are just answering giants of Africa for nothing. Now, the economy, the social order, and all those things. Now, is there any relationship between good governance and leadership? Of course, there is. Because if there is a good leader, that good leader must govern very well. And so he will do all these attributes. People will know them. You know, they are telling me to run away. I thank you for that too, because I've told you that I'm as a teacher, I can continue to talk. So let me conclude. I said I have proposed in a convincing manner. Well, I didn't read everything. While starting this chapter, to establish that the Peter Obi's administration in Anambra State was superlative when compared with others like him, due mainly because of certain factors. Some of these factors hinge on his perception of leadership and governance, rooted in his leadership and governance philosophy. He understood that he was just a political servant in to the actual leaders of the people whom he always deferred to for efficiency and veritable development. With the clear understanding that leadership did not rest in him as a political office holder, he knew his role for what it was, namely, one who needed to work in tandem with the actual leaders of the state, as I have discussed earlier. He also had the humility and the drive for achievement which made him to do what he did, namely refocusing of all the sectors of the state. And most importantly, he was able to continue to upgrade himself. Buhari, for instance, I use this as an example here. He finished his school those days. In 1962, when he joined the army, it was this man who received him in the army, Ben Bullier, Colonel Ben Bullier. And Ben told me that they brought a letter and said, this man is capable of passing these courses. Recommendation. He was capable of passing these courses. And then the man came, they sent him to Sandhurst, where they trained non-commissioned officers to commission them. He failed. And then came back, they sent him back because he couldn't pass anything. By the time these people finished their training and came back, he was already commissioned. What kind of country is that will survive? And since that time up to today, he has never upgraded himself. That's why in 2003, he told us he had 100 cows. In 2007, 100 cows. In 2011, 100 cows. And in 2015, 100 cows. Yet Nigerians handed over the country. I am surprised he has performed the way he has performed by even managing and holding the country to this point. Otherwise, I expected that things would have been worse than it is. So, we must, as a people, be more committed. This movement has gone beyond our principal, Obi. The movement is now for all of us to understand that our survival is hinged on getting a good, veritable leader to govern this country. I thank you very much.